Hey everyone. All right. It's time for the November team call. We're super pumped.
What's up, guys?
Thanks for popping on with us. I know everyone's busy and it's a big month. I was just thinking about how success starts now because we cannot wait till January. There's just a lot on the line, and Plexus is crazy amazing in rolling out the things to help us be successful this month. So we're going to talk about all those things, but I did first want to welcome all of the new ambassadors. If there's some new ambassadors on tonight, please let us know in the chat thread. In a little bit, we're going to do a fun giveaway, and so we want to make sure that all of the new ambassadors are welcomed, that you get the training that you need. I was going to just make a real quick plug. There's 2 calls on the team page. One was a new ambassador training, and one was a lunch and learn, a little topic that Gretchen shared on earlier today. And so if you are curious, you want to learn more about the products, all that good stuff, make sure you check those out. There's good stuff on there. Feel free to tag your people as well. So, alrighty. Who has a win to share for the month of October? I know a lot of you had some crazy, amazing things happen. So if you're able to put in the chat thread a win or 2, I think it's so important. I'm in an accountability group with Jessica Huffley, and she sends us out these little forms every weekend that we have to fill out. And one of the things that we have to do is reflect on our wins, what went well. So feel free to share in the chat. In a second, I'll have some of you unmute really quick, but I did want to shout out a couple people because we had Hannah Levi. I don't know if she's on here yet, but Hannah Levi went gold. And so super proud of her. So I wanted to shout her out. Yep. And then we had Wendy, Justin, Jamie, Kathy, and Jenny re-rank. And those were level 1. So just wanted to, well, actually Jamie's under Shelby. But anyways, just wanted to shout out those people. If you re-ranked, if you ranked up, if you had some win, honestly, it doesn't have to be some sort of rank up goal. Whatever your win is, it doesn't matter how small you think it was, it's big, right? Because all the small things add up into big things. So, all right. Are you all eating dinner? Okay, oh, there's one. Gretchen passed her point goal for October. That's awesome.
Yo.
Yay. Who else is willing to unmute and share a win? We'll just take a couple, popcorn style. Don't be shy. What were your wins? Melinda sent out more samples to new people than she ever has. That's awesome.
How about Leaders Retreat? Was that a win?
That was a big win.
That was a win, yeah.
All right, so Phil, put some more wins in the chat thread. So we are going to share a couple things. This is going to be lots of people shared on this call. So, oops, there's some more wins. Chelsea conversation with 20 new people from a post that I made on my personal Facebook page.
No, go, Daddy. No. Go, Daddy.
Let's see, hang on one sec. And then Amber hosted 2 Sip and Sees. That's awesome. Cassie made it to San Diego and back alive, and it was a blast. Caroline says, I'm on a team call, and that feels like a win. Yes, there Caroline, it's good to see you.
Caroline Rowley in the house.
All right, so fun. Yeah, Caroline and I chatted earlier this afternoon on Zoom, so very fun. Who has registered for Super Saturday? If you want to be successful in 2020, make sure you're at Super Saturday. There are multiple locations. It is a day of training. Bring your teams. There'll be some, live stream options as well, but it's always best to go to a location.
Yeah. So for the Midwest, I mean, there's people from all over here, but for the Midwest, Super Saturdays are, it's really well represented this year. It seems like, so they kind of move it around a little bit. I think there's one in Iowa. There's one in Plainfield, which is basically Indianapolis. And I don't remember all the rest of them, but for a lot of us here, there's a lot of them in the Midwest, which is really awesome.
All righty. Okay, a couple of things. So we are, oh good. Amber is going to Rogers, Arkansas. She's taking people with her. Yes, make sure that you're encouraging your teammates to go, really promoting that and registering for convention. So those are two big events that are live, and it's a great opportunity to grow yourself and grow your business. So we're going to have a sweet friend share about the collagen, which is our newest product. Where is the thing? Am I grabbing it? If you haven't tried the collagen yet, be sure to put it on your next order. This is the little sample pack that we got. So it's a cute little package like that, but you basically mix your slim in, or sorry, you mix your collagen in with your slim. So Melody Detweiler is a senior Ruby with Plexus, and she is a certified nutritionist, and she loves to geek out on all the fun sciencey facts. So she's going to give us a quick blitz and some info about the new collagen, why it's awesome, and why you want it in your life.
Hey, thanks, Megan. Okay, I'm going to go through this really, really quick, but I'm so excited about this product. I started looking for a collagen earlier this year because I was researching about it. And so when they announced they were going to release a new product, I was like just hoping, and then they did. So that was cool. Okay, so here's my my take on it. So this is being promoted as a holistic beauty product, right? Because of Joy Om, it's being talked a lot about how it benefits the hair, skin, and nails. But I really want to emphasize to all of you that it is holistic, meaning it's for the whole body. It's not just a beauty product. So don't be confused when you see it with Joy Om, okay? This is for everybody, and this is supporting a lot of things. And I just want to blitz through the different areas of the body. It is for hair, skin, and nails. It is going to help increase the suppleness of our skin, so that's plump and healthy, and wrinkles are going away, right? Our eyelashes are longer, hair is going to be shinier and thicker. Josiah is hoping it'll help his hairline. No, I'm just kidding. But in addition to that, it's also supporting your gut health. A lot of people are drinking bone broth these days. Why are they doing that? That's because of the collagen in it, for one reason, right? To help heal up that leaky gut. So it's supportive of gut health, the body's joints, connective tissues, helping to slow down the aging process. Hormone production in the body is also affected by collagen. Weight loss and muscle mass are a couple of other things. So just know that this is a holistic product. And you guys, I have to emphasize, I'm so excited that this is a combination of marine and bovine. There is not another collagen supplement like this out on the market right now. All of them are one type or another. They're marine collagen or they're bovine collagen, but there's not another product out there that we know of that has both together. This is a unique product, okay? And then when you add about all the other things that are in there, like the superfood and other things I'm going to mention, it really makes it unique. So that makes me really excited. Okay, so the grass-fed bovine is another thing that's important to know, that it is grass-fed. That really sets it apart as well. There's no fillers. I also love that it is type 1 and type 3, and I just learned this today. Donnelly Robinson has a really good video on collagen, but she said that we have 16 different types of collagen in our bodies, right? And type 1 is found in 90% of our body as a whole. And so the fact that we have type 1 and type 3 in our supplement means it's going to affect all of our body systems. Okay, she said that $122 million was sold last year in the area of collagen. That much money was spent on collagen products by Americans last year. So this is a huge market that Plexus is tapping into, that we are tapping into. It's really smart. It's also really, really helpful. Okay, what else did I want to say here? Oh, yes. I wanted to chat really quickly about it being bioavailable. So it is very bioavailable. That's partly why we love X Factor Plus, right? Because our body can absorb it. It's the same thing with this collagen. It is broken down into a form that our body knows what to do with it. So I guess there's other collagen types out there that have a little bit higher count of protein, but then what happens is the body can't as readily use it or absorb it. And so this, again, sets Plexus collagen apart. It is very bioavailable. Your body knows how to use it. She said after one serving, I guess you would call it, one serving of collagen in your pink drink or whatever, it will show up in your body's bloodstream, meaning your body is using it. That's pretty amazing to me. So anyway, it also has the FOS prebiotic. It has vitamin C and E. Again, those are amazing antioxidants, helping your body be protected against free radical stress and oxidative stress. It also has the superfood blend, and I'll just read you really quickly some of what's in that superfood blend. Phytonutrients, polyphenols, the acacia fruit, I don't know how to pronounce that, by the way, so ACAI, pomegranate, camu, again, a very high vitamin C content in that, and asparagus. So really cool stuff. You can mix it in hot or cold, doesn't matter. It's amazing. I'll stop talking. I love it.
Melody, that was awesome. Does anyone have any quick questions for Melody? Feel free to put them in the comments, and then she could maybe pop on at the end or just answer, as we're continuing to chat. So thank you for sharing. I'm super excited about it. I use it in my tea. You can mix it in lots of different things. It's great. So, and Plexus always makes their products combination products, which is super cool. So they always come out with the coolest stuff. So I did want to move along to our Leaders Retreat earners. So I was trying to count up from the chat thread how many people had earned Leaders Retreat from one team, but it had to be pushing 30 because there's some people that earned it, but that are not in that chat thread. So a huge shout out. You guys know who you are that earned Leaders Retreat. It's a huge honor. It's every year, usually during the summertime, there's a contest that's run. And if it's basically an earned trip, and there's different prize tiers that you can cash in on. We had several top earners, and so huge congrats. Carrie was one, Tammy Conacher was one, Melody Duttweiler. Am I forgetting anyone else? I know Chelsea hit the second to top prize. Debbie, I think you did too. Feel free to put in the chat thread what you earned. We want to recognize you guys. It is a huge, huge deal. Mm-hmm. So thank you for leading by example and for being leaders on the team. So that is so awesome. Okay, so we're going to have some people share takeaways of what they learned at Leaders Retreat. Rachel Moore was a newer ambassador that earned the retreat. I don't see her on here though. Melody or Natalie, is she under you, or Emma? Maybe she's under Emma. If you see her or could message her, or maybe she's under a different name. Sometimes people are like on a phone or something. And anyways, if you see Rachel, we were going to have her share. Anyways, let's see. Chelsea is another newer ambassador. She has been on the team for about 1.5 years and just started sharing this spring, right out of the gate. She was one of the girls I kept pestering about, hey, do you want to share yet? Like, do you want to go silver? And then, I just follow up every once in a while. And she's like, oh, finally in April, she messaged me out of the blue and it's like, hey, I'm ready to go silver, or hey, I'm ready to share. Would you mind hosting an event for me? I was like, okay, I can do that. And she ended up adding, I don't know, 10 people or, 13, I can't remember, in her first month, and went gold, and she's on her way to senior gold, and went to Leaders Retreat, earned almost the entire contest of prizes. So, Chelsea, I would love for you to share what your experience was, why people should want to earn it, what you thought, all the things. And congrats for earning it. So awesome.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Can you hear me? Okay. Well, thanks for that introduction. So I actually didn't take a ton of notes at Leaders Retreat because I just wanted to soak in all the information. I'm one of those people who, as I'm writing, I tend to miss bits and pieces. So, but I did screenshot a lot of some of my favorite information. But I'll say this is my first Plexus event, on a large scale. I got to go to another event with Megan, but it was kind of a smaller closed group. So this was really impactful for me, just to be in a room with that many men and women who all have are all like-minded, have the same vision, the same dream, was just really powerful. I don't think you can go to an event like that and not just be filled up to the top and ready to pour out to your team. So that was huge for me. And I know that people tell you that all the time, but it's kind of like you have to experience it to believe it. So that was great. What else did you say? What else do you want to talk about?
Was there anything that stuck out to you specifically, or if you could encourage someone else of why they would want to go to Leaders Retreat?
Just the information that is shared there. We got to hear from a lot of the different diamonds as partners, and of course to be there for the unveiling of a new product. I mean, that was really cool. We got to be the first to hear about it, and then to share that with our team. Some of my favorite takeaways, and sorry, I'm sorting through pictures here because I'll have to read them from that. Okay, so one of them was, that's my phone. You will never be content with mediocrity or moderate success. You were created with potential beyond what you can fathom. So that was kind of cool, just because I feel like we don't realize our potential, at least for me anyways. It's really hard to, I don't know, imagine for me being anything more than gold right now. So just to listen to the diamonds speak, to hear where they started. I mean, they're just like us. They did the same steps as we did. They're, real, normal people. So that was impactful for me. Let's see, there was one other one that I wanted to share. And I'm sure some other people will hit the high notes of this as well. Get a screenshot of it. Oh, okay. Leadership is often easy during the good times. It's when everything seems to be against you, when you're out of energy and you don't want to lead, that you earn your place as a leader. During every season of life, leaders face crucial moments when they must choose between gearing up or giving up. And that, I actually wrote that on my mirror in my bathroom because I feel like I go through that a lot. It's fun to celebrate with your team, but it's also really hard, when you have those people who detox really quickly and they decide to quit. So yeah, it just kind of reminded me that it's going to be, you got to take the good with the bad. So those were my brief takeaways.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. That was great. Okay, I know Melinda, Gretchen, and Molly were willing to pop on and share a couple of things that they learned. Let's see. Molly, do you want to go next?
Sure, I will. So it was my second leaders retreat. It was fabulous to be there. You cannot imagine the excitement in the room when they released the new product, when they talked about those sample packages, when they talked about the rewards program. And it's like so much excitement and so much new stuff. Your mind is spinning. But what was super, super fabulous was, one, like Chelsea said, to be in a room of people that you knew took their business seriously, worked their butts off to get there. They were not excuse makers. They did it. And like you're in that company and you feel like everybody raises each other up. So, but anyway, to help us process all the information, Jessica Heffley had a private training in her hotel room. So Jessica Heffley was there, Tamara Holloway was there, just like people that, you know, I really look up to, and like, wow. And it's just like casual hanging out in the hotel room, sharing thoughts, being able to process that, all of that new information, and really put a plan of action into in your mind for your team. Some key takeaways I had, of course, I love everything Jessica Heffley says. She really talked about the word pivot and how we as leaders sometimes need to pivot in our direction, and that we should not let fear hold us back, that we should go ahead. Done is better than perfect, and whatever life throws at us or whatever happens with our teams or our customers or the products or the back office or the company, just a slight pivot is all that's needed, but not to let that fear hold us back. She also said something that really resonated with me. That gratitude is the great gateway drug to motivation. I've heard her say this before too: what you focus on grows. Remove the drama behind the fear, whatever it is we're avoiding. Leaders pivot when needed. Sometimes it's just a tiny small change that will get us where we need to go. If you picture like a trajectory, if you're teaching math, you know, we all start out here, but just the slightest change is going to change that angle and that trajectory that's going to just increase unbelievably farther out in the future. That growth is painful, but it's not as painful as staying where you are. It's as staying where you don't belong. You have to be your biggest cheerleader. Be mindful of what you tell yourself. And that really dovetailed really in nicely with what Fallon Black shared. Fallon Black is somebody that I had never heard from before, but she was the top convention or the top prize earner in the Emerald Extravaganza or something. So I'd never heard her speak before, but just for her to share her journey of where she was when she started, stuck at gold for so long, such a drama queen. She said she was actually removed from her team page because of the drama and negativity she brought. What? And then she just shared how her mindset shifted, and that it was all about personal growth. And she said something that really resonated with me, that it's a choice to be positive and to have belief, and it's a choice that we make daily, minute by minute. So that was something that really resonated with me. But I don't want to share more and leave enough for other people to talk about as well. So, but it was great.
Perfect. Molly, thank you for sharing that. Gretchen, do you want to go next?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Yeah, so much good stuff. I have lots and lots of notes. Loved some things that Jessica had to say. One thing that I really enjoyed that she shared was that gratitude is a gateway to motivation. When we're grateful for what we have, for where we're at, and that fills our hearts to want to pour out even more. And also she said that leaders look for and find the good. Going right along with that, Brooke Hemingway shared a couple of things that I wrote down. To beware of pessimism disguised as realism. I hope you guys can hear me. I've got some little kiddos in the background. I thought that was really good. We do want to be realistic in assessing the challenges, but I think sometimes we can cross that line of pessimism and just saying, oh, I'm just being realistic, and that will that will paralyze you, that will keep you from moving forward. And then, you know, we talked about all these things, about goals, about dreams. We've got all these, you know, diamonds and jewels and huge goals and big stories. But she said, remember that we rise through daily baby steps. I love that she broke it back down for us, that it's the little, simple, boring, unglamorous things that we choose to do every single day that move us from where we are to wherever we want to be. Love, love, love that. A couple really practical things that were shared. We've been hearing a lot about doing movies, doing videos, doing lives. And this was in the brainstorm session in Jessica's suite. Somebody said, if you're afraid of lives, do an interview. Interview somebody else, or have somebody else interview you. It's a lot less scary that way. There's two of you. I just thought that was really, really smart. Lives aren't a scary thing for me. I have other comfort zone issues, but I thought that was just a really good practical tip. Also, I loved Tamara Holloway's wording. You can tell she's been doing this for a while, and she has honed her skills. Things that she shared with us to say may or may not. This may or may not interest you. This may or may not be for you. Just giving people that open door where they don't feel like they're being pushed or pressured. You probably heard this one before. If I send you a video, would you watch it? If I send you a sample, would you be interested? Would you be open? He's saying open is a better word than interested. Interested is a strong word. People feel like they're making a commitment. But if you say, would you be open? I know Megan says a lot. Would you be game for? Those are both things that are not as strong and make people feel safer to look into it without feeling like, oh, they're committing to something right here off the bat. So, and then she shared, leave the door open. Don't end a message by saying, let me know. Oh my goodness, I have done this before. So it's really stood out to me. I'm like, oh, guilty. But if you tell someone, let me know if, then you close the door for you to get with them. So she said, and this, you can tell she said it a lot, it rolls off her tongue. I'll touch base with you soon. I'll check back in with you. Keeping that ball in your court, keeping the door open for you to pick the conversation back up, so it's not dependent on them to restart the conversation. And then when you do check back in, when you do touch base again, you're just doing what you already told them you were going to do. So there's some visionary things, there's some practical things. It was great and amazing experience as always. Plexus is just over the top in all the events that they do, but Leaders Retreat is very, very special.
Thank you, Gretchen. That was awesome. Mic drop. Everything that you all are sharing is just so awesome. Thank you for sharing so we all can glean. Okay, Carrie is going to go next. There she is. All right, take it away, girly.
Hello, coming to you from the car. Hopefully you can hear me. Had to run a quick diaper run. I'm sure some of you moms understand. Okay, I'm actually gonna have to go away from my video because I took a picture of my notes just in case I didn't make it back in time. Okay, so on the very first session, the very first day, Jen Leith shared. And if you guys don't know who Jen Leith is, she's a diamond and she's hilarious and she's just so fun to listen to. Follow her. She's a hoot. But I always love listening to her. She also spoke to the Jewels at convention this year and did a fantastic job there too. But she just had a quick introduction, to Leaders Retreat and things about leaders. And I just loved what she had to share. So I was going to share it with you. Jennifer's on, yes, me too, Amber. Okay, so she shared, she's like, congrats on being here and all that. And then she said, change your mindset to say, I get to lead. Don't say you have to lead. You get to lead. You get to be a leader. She talked about leadership being that leadership is that we get to make an impact on people. But then she shared about 3 types of leaders. She started off by making a paper airplane, which I thought was hilarious. And like, she tries to fly it and it like doesn't go anywhere. And she's like, okay, the first one is paper airplane leadership. She said, this is not who we want to be. Paper airplanes soar for a little bit and then crash hard. I mean, you might get it to sail, you know, if you're really good at making them, you might get them to sail for a little bit, but they rarely have graceful landings and they never fly for very long. Then she talked about kite leadership. And she said, with kite leadership, you have to have wind and you have to have somebody that's going to hang on to you. And she said, are you, you know, she was asking us, like, are you dependent on your upline? Are you dependent on, like, you know, do contests? You know, is that what, you know, makes you run? Or, you know, with kites, like, you know, you have to hold on to them. And so somebody has to be always, you know, holding your hand or going through it. You know, you have to have wind to blow you, whether that's like, I don't know, when she was talking about that, I would sing like contests, like, people are pretty motivated during contests for obvious reasons. When there's prizes dangled in front of them, you know, that's kind of our win. And then she went on to talk about an eagle, and I will not do this justice. I was telling Megan, I hope that there is a video somewhere, because I haven't seen it yet if there is. But she talked about how eagles are steady, tried and true soarers. They can fly over a storm and, you know, through a storm, and they are steady no matter how they, you know, what comes their way. They fly, which she said a bunch of adjectives, and maybe some of the other girls got them, but she said, you know, they fly with strength, they fly with purpose. You know, their flight is done with strength and purpose. And there was others, but I didn't get them written down because I'm like Chelsea, I'm like trying to listen and I like lose track if I'm not like fully paying attention. But then she also made note that eagles stop at nothing to get their prey. And I don't remember again what the distance was she talked about. I'm going to come back to the video so I can see you guys. But she talked about, I don't remember how many yards away an eagle can spot something. And once it spots it, it will stop at nothing until it gets it. And I just loved her analogy of those 3 types of leaders. So just a short little bit, but like I said, Jen did a much better job describing it than I did. But that's just I don't know. I just loved how she described the three types of leaders.
Awesome. Very great. Melinda, are you in a place where you're able to share? There she is. Okie doke.
I'm home. Okay, she asked me that because I had to go pick up a bull from Iowa State University today who had hurt feet. So it's been an awesome day. But I'm home and I'm glad to be home. So, okay, I think everything that everybody has shared were things that I had written down. And so I do have some more things, but write those things down, guys, because it was just so incredible to be there and hear it from them. Just, it's like you're immersed in just voice after voice after voice of things that you're just like, whoa, I gotta write that down. That's amazing. And so that's what I felt like. I had pages and pages of notes. But just some things, I guess, that really stuck out to me. And just for me and my journey personally, I suppose, is that I feel like we have to battle for belief every day. And I guess for me personally, it's a constant battle in my own mind because I just feel so crunched every day for time. And I know a lot of us do. And so just having those reminders and having it on my mind constantly of, okay, you know, just how this works and how am I going to fit this in and all of that stuff is really hard because it is a constant battle. And so Janice, she said something that really just resonated with me in my own personal journey through this and just life. But for me right now was to follow your intuition because it will serve you well and it will lead you to your dreams. And I just really felt so moved by what she just kind of told her life story. And I just kept thinking, you know, sometimes we are so busy that we can't even think our own thoughts, and we can't even process like what has happened. And I really felt like at Leaders Retreat, I got those moments because my husband's amazing and kept our kids busy in the hotel room or playing basketball or swimming. And I was just so grateful for that. And it's so inspiring. So I guess one thing I want to say, and I was just telling one of my team members this a couple of days ago, I feel most inspired and motivated when I get even an hour of uninterrupted work time. So if you're feeling like, if your belief is if you're struggling with belief, or if you're just feeling the overwhelm word, the O word that we don't like to say, find yourself half an hour or an hour, because it is just incredible the mind shift that can take place from the time you walk in the coffee shop until the time you leave. And that is probably one of the things that motivates me the most and brings that belief back for me the most, is just being able to think about and what, plan what I'm going to do. And so anyway, she said, follow your intuition and it will serve you well. So if you are feeling like God has placed this opportunity in your lap and you're feeling like, I really need to do something with this, I need to lean into this more, I need to do the hard things so that I can figure out why my why is what is my why? It's not just the surface level why. Just dig deep into it so that on those days when it is hard, like Jennifer Leith was talking about, on those days when it is hard, you show up and you show up for life, regardless of how it's going, and that you're fueled by your heart. Because there's a lot of hard days, guys. In life, there's a lot of hard days, and we can't just not show up for our kids some days. We can't just not show up for our day jobs. And this is no different. We can't just not show up. And so Janice also said to never settle. And I wrote that in big words because I feel like so many of us, we feel the overwhelm. We feel the crazy busy. The fear creeps in. I'm sorry, I'm like 5 months pregnant and I'm really short of breath. So I'm not like, I haven't just ran a marathon. But I feel like it's easy to kind of fall back into like the settling, because it's like, you know what, it's okay. Like, it's okay if we just kind of chill for a little bit and just try to get our bearings again. And I just wrote that down big because it's like, no, I'm not going to settle. I'm not going to back off. I'm not going to be a kite or an airplane in my leadership. I'm going to be an eagle and I'm going to stop at nothing. And you have to have that mindset every day, because otherwise you come home after driving all day with 2 kids and you're tired and you don't want to do the things, but you make the decision to do it anyway. And I'm so glad that I am, because I get to go over my notes again here and I get to think about it again and I get to refocus. The other thing that I wrote down is that so many people are visual learners, which means we're also visual in our, I guess, just our day-to-day things and how we are reminded of things. I don't know. I'm a very visual person. And so Jessica Heffley was saying, you need to print a picture of what your goal is and you need to place it all over your house or in your car or wherever it is. She printed the Lexus, I think. The Lexus doesn't drive me, but a new farm does. And being home with my kids does. And so those are the pictures that are going to be posted around our house, because you have to see it every day. Otherwise, your mind checks out. And then you realize, oh, I haven't even thought about like this, or this. But when it's in front of you every day and you see that picture of the farm that you want to buy every day, and you see on your wall, I want to be home with my kids every day, you can't not think about it. And so just put it visually somewhere, because most people are visual people. The other thing that I wrote down was that we have to give our business to God. You can't do it separately. There's no, there's just, you have to give it to God. And I feel like for me, for a while, I kind of struggled with like it being separate and feeling a little weird about it. And I've known for a long time that it's not separate, but it's also work to give it to God every day, because again, we fall back into like the separation or something. I don't know. It's just like with anything else, giving your life to God, it's at work every day to do that. But when you do that, it's worth it. And what else do I want? Oh, I wanted to share that. One of my coworkers shared a devotion yesterday morning before school started about aligning yourself vertically every day. And it just hit me so hard because it was talking about being amnesia ridden Christians, having amnesia as Christians, and how we forget that like God's in it all. And so he was talking about how we have to align ourselves vertically every day with God, and then everything else falls into place because we're constantly aligning ourselves with things horizontally, our families, our jobs, our responsibilities, whatever it is, and we like totally leave God out of it. But if we would just align ourselves vertically, those other things fall into place. So yeah, I think hopefully all that went together and made sense. My brain's a little mushy, but Leaders Retreat was amazing. And the last thing that I will say is that Brooke Hemingway was talking about just showing up and how you have to show up for events. You have to be there. And Leaders Retreat for us was definitely a decision to show up because it was not an easy task to make to go. Like financially, we were like, this is crazy, right? We have to buy plane tickets for all our kids. Getting off work, a miracle that we got off, quite honestly. We had to hire somebody to take care of our cows, but I was talking with Megan about it, and that's what she said to me is leaders show up. And so I said, we got to go. We'll figure it out. And I'm so glad that we did. But Brooke said, be in the room. You have to be in the room. And I can't emphasize enough like how important that is. And that doesn't mean you have to travel 2,000 miles across the country. That just means that you have to show up for things. You have to show up every day. You have to show up when there are team calls. You have to show up when your team needs you. Super Saturday, you got to be there somehow, some way. So I guess I'll just end with that. Just to be in the room and show up every day. Yep.
That was awesome.
Perfect.
Gals, thank you so much for sharing all that. Phenomenal.
Yeah, awesome. So Leaders Retreat is my favorite event Plexus puts on. It has been for 4 years. We've been to Maui. We've done all that stuff. I would trade, Maui is pretty awesome, but I would trade Maui in for Leaders Retreat. You just can't match the energy of Leaders Retreat. Convention doesn't come close. Super Saturday doesn't come close. The Health and Wellness Tour doesn't come close. Maui, nothing comes close to Leaders Retreat. And it was a bummer, actually, to not be able to go this year. So it just, they've made some changes, so we weren't able to attend this year. Plus, it was on a aircraft carrier. Like, that's my jam. That's where I thrive. Anyway, so Leaders Retreat, my all-time favorite event. So I'm really proud of everybody that earned it and all the ones that went and were able to learn and just spend time with one another and learn from people. I have one quick question, though, about Leaders Retreat for those who went. Did anybody walk away from Leaders Retreat with more belief? I know one of the things that always stood out to me with the Leaders Retreat events was when I left, I always thought we can do this. I don't know how, but these people are just normal. These people are just normal people. We can do this. Did anybody else leave thinking that from Leaders Retreat? Yes, Melody. Yeah. Anybody else? Molly. Yeah.
Chelsea.
So it's just such an amazing. It's always been such an amazing thing, just to go to Leaders Retreat. So a couple things I wanted to share really fast is one thing I want to touch on. Molly mentioned pivot, how Jessica Heffley talked about pivoting. And I was just talking to a male diamond ambassador just this last week about this exact thing. And he was talking about just, big changes in life. And I had told him the same thing. I just said, there's not many 180-degree turns in life. There just isn't. But there's always these little turns, little decisions made over time make the big difference. It's not, I think a lot of times we look for these big, life-changing, lightning-flashing events to happen and change everything. And that just hasn't been my experience in life. It's usually these just little turns, these little decisions, and consistently over time is what makes the biggest differences. But
Mhm.
I love what you shared, Molly, about the pivoting. Another thing I wanted to mention real quick, that Melinda shared about being visual, like having a picture of something in front of you, whatever it is. Maybe it's a new bicycle. It doesn't really matter what it is. That's one of my goals, is a new bike. So, but having a picture of it and just constantly looking at it. But one thing that we have been wanting to do for a long time is, since last year, we were able to go to, just through Plexus and through relationships in Plexus, I was able to go to Kenya, Africa last year with strangers. Basically, it was a strange God thing. And like in 2 days, I was on a plane with a bunch of cash that people that I didn't even know sent with me to go to Kenya to buy Bibles, to some guy I never met, to go to some village I've never been to. It was an odd thing. It was
They
so weird.
walked through customs with
Yeah.
thousands of dollars in their socks.
Yeah, it was a sketchy deal. Like, there's a reason why there's ministries that have things in place so you don't have to do stuff like this and, potentially end up in some African prison. But anyway, we made it through. And one of the things that we have been wanting to do with Plexus is we've been wanting a bigger home so we can house missionaries. And we had a specific room. There's a picture, like
Making it visual.
Yeah, like Melinda said. So
I was up there.
So it's been a constant visual reminder of, okay, what's one of the reasons why we're doing this? Why do we want to succeed? Why do we want to hit the next level? Why do we want to keep moving forward, even when we don't feel like it? Why? Well, one reason is because we want a room for missionaries. Well, we're in the process of building a house now. The room that they started on when they started the house was on the missionary room. And so it's like this, now it's a constant reminder of just why we're doing this. And our friend from Kenya actually just came to the United States for the first time ever this last week. And we got to show him the room where he and his family will stay when they come back to visit. So it's just these constant visual reminders ahead of us. Why are we doing this? Why we keep doing this? And now we're starting to see it like blossom into this incredible thing. So don't be afraid to print pictures off, keep them in front of you, of your why, of your who, and all the other things. So just keep that in front of you constantly. So thank you for the reminder about that, Melinda. One other thing too, we're getting close to the end of 2019. So Thanksgiving's coming up, Christmas is coming up, all sorts of things. But one thing I want to encourage everybody with is to set a goal for the end of the year. So a lot of times I feel like we just kind of like, man, I can't wait for this year to get over, and then start fresh. But I want to encourage everybody to just kind of maybe even change your mindset on this and finish the year strong. Set a goal. What is the victory that we're going out with in 2019? Let's end in victory. What is that victory? What is that goal? Is it a financial goal? Is it a points goal? Is it a rank goal? I'm not sure. Is it a re-rank goal? There's a lot of great incentives going on right now, but I just want to encourage you to finish on a win. I know I really enjoy sports, so whether it's golf or basketball, anything, if I'm doing that, I always tell the kids, I say, hey, one more shot. And if I miss, then I'm just like, okay, well, one more shot. And I always tell them you have to finish on a win. You can't leave on an air ball. I mean, it just doesn't feel right, So you have to finish 2019 on a win. Set a goal and make it happen. Let's start the new year in momentum. Let's start the new year coming right off of a victory. The new year is a hot time with health and wellness. There's a lot of goals set by a lot of people. The majority of Americans set goals at the beginning of a year. So what better way to start the new year than to finish the last year with a victory? One of the things I want to share, just with one of the incentives that's going on, Plexus is trying to make it easy for us to re-rank. I mean, they're actually paying us extra money to pay us more money. like if you really think about this, like, hey, I want to pay you to re-rank so that I can pay you some more. So it's like a crazy incentive. So if you find yourself at a point to maybe where your points have fallen down a little bit further than where they were at one time, don't get discouraged. It happens. It happens to everybody. Everybody's points go up, everybody's points go down. It's just a natural ebb and flow of business. Every business is the same way. Every family is the same way. Every team's the same way. Every individual's the same way. You're not doing anything necessarily wrong. It's just the natural ebb and flow of business. My points last month, in September, dropped down below Sapphire. And I mean, it happened. So October, it was like, okay, we got to get this thing back up and going. And it happened. We got re-ranked back to Sapphire, which is exciting. Yeah, and one of the things I did was on something like a re-rank where they're going to give you a bonus, think about this from a business perspective. You know, we're not in a non-profit ministry here. This is a business. So we have to think like business owners. Each one of us are individual business owners. Yeah, we're a part of a team. Yeah, we're a part of a company, but each one of us owns our individual business. So we have to start thinking in business terms. So for example, if you're going to, let's say you have the potential, if you re-rank, you have the potential to get $250 re-rank bonus. Don't be afraid to incentivize $50 of that $250. If it's going to help you hit your goal, it's just smart business. You're still $200 ahead. Does this make sense? I mean, it's just basic math, really. I mean, you don't want to incentivize $1,000 to get $250. That's just bad math. That's just bad business. The doors will close. You know, it just doesn't. We're not the government, so that we actually have to make this thing work. So be thinking about these things. How can we create points? How can we create business growth in these next 2 months to get back to where you once were, or where you want to go even?
Momentum, you said.
Yeah, momentum. Start the new year in momentum. Sometimes you just have to create momentum. So don't be afraid to wisely incentivize like that. And that's something that we did. We figured out, okay, what's at stake here with the re-rank bonus, and what can we do wisely as far as incentivizing to make this thing work and still be profitable. So don't be afraid to do that. I think that's all I had, other than Gretchen mentioned, said that leaders find the good. And it reminded me of a book that's underneath the desk here. It's called See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar. It's a classic business manual. See You at the Top is the name of it. And there's a chapter in there called The Good Finder about leaders. It's called The Good Finder. So anyway, that's all I've got to share.
Awesome. Okay, really quick, I just wanted to give a couple plugs. So there is a Me+3 international incentive, and I'm pretty sure that I saw Rebecca on here, who has 1 down, 2 to go. Molly, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but pretty sure she's signed an Australian ambassador and she's going for 2 more. So Me+3, go check it out in your emails. All of this is in your emails. The new collagen, be messaging all of your wholesale people. Let them know about it. Do an email blitz. You can sort your back office, export all of their email addresses, copy paste, BCC, so it doesn't, all the things, and send out an email campaign. Follow it up with a layer of maybe a Facebook message blitz where you blitz through your people, or or a text message blitz. Super simple to do that, and it gets the word out to your team. I do this consistently when there's new products, when there's some sort of new incentive. If you have contacted your wholesale ambassadors only 1 time about going silver, you're not doing your job. Okay, we have to continue to ask and to continue to share about the opportunity with Plexus. It's just like we help them. It's step 1 of 4, right? Our goal is to help every single person share with 3 people and get 3 people started. That way they don't have to to budget for their products, right? It's a win. It's a no-brainer, right? And so continuing to just chat about the Power of Three and following back up with the happy wholesalers on your team, because happy wholesalers make awesome business people. And I have multiple people on this call, level ones, that said no to the business, but they loved the products. And now Molly was one. She's now a Ruby on her way to senior Ruby. Like I shared earlier, Chelsea Finley. There's just multiple people. So do not discount the fact that you have influence over the people on your team, and your belief can be the spark that changes someone's life. And the products are life-changing, yes, but also I will say this business is life-changing. So do not forget that. We have something really, really, really special to share with people. There are Plexus perks. So that's a cool little thing they rolled out at Leaders Retreat. So it's kind of like the little point system that I had in when I ordered supplements in a different company. I would always get these little B points, and I was always checking my emails because I was like, oh, they accrued and now I get a free product. So be chatting. That's another reason to be sharing with your team and not just expecting them to see it on a team page or in a chat thread. Make sure you private message each person individually. And it's easy to copy and paste a generic message and just let them know about it. But have a call to action at the end of your little message. That way they hopefully will go place their order, set up their subscription. The Poinsettia incentive, you all, is really, really fabulous. That means that it's not just $1.99 packs that qualify for points. It's also 99 packs. So every single person that gets added to your team this month counts as points, and that is phenomenal for rank ups. Those of you who have worked really hard to rank up, you know that usually you have to plan a month or two ahead, right, in order to actually get the rank up. But this month, recruitment has to be #1 goal for every single person, because of what it will do for your points and re-ranking. And also, a lot of people didn't realize that re-rank incentive was actually a 90-day incentive. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't just for October. So if you feel like you missed the boat, or you're like, oh my word, where was I? You have this month, and you also have next month. Right. So that is huge. Like, no excuses for why, if you aren't holding rank, you can get back up to your rank. And also the fact that not only does, so if you have some people on your team that maybe need to re-rank to silver or re-rank up to gold, they get that re-rank bonus, but you as the sponsor for being an awesome leader, you get that re-rank bonus too. Right. So add that up and start adding that to your Christmas cash. And I'll just say, as just a perspective, because sometimes it's easy to be like, oh, our goals, the house, the Lexus, whatever. This is the thing though, the more people that we influence, the more people that we impact, the more people that we help get healthy, the more people that we help start businesses, the more we get paid. And so our paycheck grows in proportion to the amount of scary things that we do, the willingness to engage people and initiate. And so I think it's really cool just to think about, like, yes, our goal may be the house, but that's a representation of the amount of influence, the amount of people that we've helped, the amount of, it's also a representation of the no's that we've gotten, right? Because any of you that have done this for very long, it's not everyone says yes all the time, right? And so keeping the bigger picture in mind, and I know I'm tired of hearing myself talk today because I've been on coaching calls literally all afternoon. But one thing that we had chatted about was just going back to our why. Me even having clarity on you guys' goals. Why are you doing this? What are your goals? What's your big vision? What's the big picture? Like, yes, maybe your goal is to hit Emerald this month, or maybe you need to re-rank back to gold or silver. But what's the bigger picture, right? Because that's what's going to give us long-term growth, success, keep us in it for just having a long-term view of our businesses. So don't forget free shipping on $130 subscriptions for customers and $130 orders for ambassadors. So that's a fun thing that you can also share about if you blitz out a little thing to your ambassadors. Two last things. This month is men's health. That's the theme for November. So we have, Justin's going to host men's health event on Thursday night. awesome testimonies. There's some awesome guy lineups, and we're co-hosting with Ryan Evans' team, and so she has some great guys lined up. Make sure if you have men in your life or men that you have felt like, oh, I should reach out to them about Plexus, but what do I say? There you go. Gretchen mentioned that the other day. There's a perfect reason to reach out because there's something to plug them into. So be checking out for that. The IPA challenge is centered around sending out invites to that and also to our Sip and Glow challenge. And that starts on Monday. And I'm encouraging everyone to have minimum, slim, and collagen ordered. And so that's for your customers, that's for your ambassadors, and that's also for any potentials. So, all right. Did I miss anything, y'all? What did we forget? I got my chicken lister to try collagen.
Hey, there you go.
That's awesome.
Hey, that's another thing too. If you've reached out to people in the past who are really into health and wellness and all of those things, and maybe you've got no's in the past, don't be afraid to go back to that list of people with this new product, because this might be the product that really gets them interested in what Plexus has to offer. If they really know what they're doing and they know about collagen and they see how this is formulated, they might be really interested in what Plexus has to offer. There's already a person that I'm reaching back out to. She's a health and wellness lady. She hasn't been real crazy about Plexus. She loves her probiotic, but outside of that, she doesn't want anything else. But I think this will be really huge for her. So don't be afraid to go back through your list with this new product. I think it's going to be big.
Yeah, and that's something that Carol and I were talking about earlier today is not just thinking of people that can benefit from the products, like your 10 best, 10 blessed lists, but also 10 business lists. Like, who are the top 10 scary people that you're afraid to message? Go message them now, because you're going to start conversations, right? And you might not have people that say yes right away. Most people won't, but they will watch your journey closer. They will watch your success. They will watch your consistency. And to sign up 1 or 2 business builders, I mean, think of the difference in the momentum in your business. It's worth doing that scary thing. And Molly's asking if we could touch on the new 3-day sample boxes, perfect for 3-day blitzes. And that's awesome. Molly, can you share about that?
So they come in this cute little thing that each day has new recipes. They're packaged with an active, a hunger control, I don't know, maybe MetaBurn. So each day has this little trifold thing. It's super cute. Your customers can order it, because I've just been trying to be more duplicatable with my team and do these 3-day blitzes. And this is just like the perfect little cute package. It's way classier than sending out like Slims in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah. So that's a big deal, actually, because I was just looking at this paper cutter, like this old school, with the big long blade I bought for when we first started. And I first started sending out samples. I had to cut this cardstock and then like glue. I don't even know how they got like the Slim off the paper, to be honest with you. So I bought these like glue dots, and I had to make my own thing. So now they have it right there for you. But if you want some of those pieces of cardstock, I still got them cut. I still have the glue dots, and I'm looking for a home for this paper cutter. If anybody, it's not going to the new house with us. So if anybody wants it, come get it.
All right, awesome. We'll end on that note. I did forget to do the giveaway. So if you registered for convention already, or you registered for Super Saturday, put it in the comments really fast before we hop off, and we will draw for a name. And I'll send you a sample packet that you can send out to whoever you choose.
Perfect.
All right. Have a great night, guys.
See you guys.
Bye.